Good day. I'm Milton Schoen, and welcome to America Salutes. Today we have as our guest Scott Zemke from Community Action Partnership of Suburban Hennepin County. A mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself to start with?
Okay. I'm executive director of what we call CAPSH. I've been with the organization for 16 years, and I'm new to the executive director role. I've been doing that for about 6 months, but I've done a lot of work directly with clients, and now and then managed programs, and now I'm managing the organization.
Excellent. And your organization is most known for fuel assistance.
That's correct. We operate the energy assistance program throughout Hennepin County. We've got it's a federal block grant that comes to the state, and then local service providers such as ourselves. We take applications from clients and help them get the application completed. It's an income-based program that provides people with a supplement to help them pay their heating and electric bill. It also has some crisis assistance for people who are facing disconnection, and for homeowners, they can also get their furnace repaired or replaced if that goes out during the winter as well.
Very good. And the fuel assistance season starts in the fall?
Yep, it runs on the federal fiscal year, so it runs kind of like the school year, where it's we take applications starting on October 1st, and then we take them through May 31st. The funding does not always last that long, so we do encourage people who think that they're going to be running into trouble. We want them to apply as soon as possible, so that we make sure that they can get a grant before they run into trouble.
They can access those dollars because the dollars, it is a block grant, and when they're all spent, then those resources are no longer available.
That's correct. Yep. Once the money's gone, it's gone, and we don't always run out of money, but the danger is there. So we want to make sure that if people think that they're going to be struggling, that they get in touch with us right away.
Right. And your organization also does some significant work with housing.
That's correct. Probably our next largest program is our Foreclosure Prevention program, and that's another program where you really want to get in touch with us early on in the process. We help about 1,500 people every year who are facing foreclosure. We want to see them when they know they're going to miss their first payment, not right before they're going to lose the property. The sooner they get in touch with one of our counselors, the sooner we can start working with them, and the better chance there is that we can have a good resolution for them.
Right, because it's much more challenging if somebody comes to you the day before a sheriff's sale.
That's correct. The day before a sheriff's sale, there's not a lot that we can do for them. If they can get to us, right away, as soon as they know they're going to get into trouble, that's best. 30 days before the sheriff's sale is better.
So there are options like restructuring a loan and working with the mortgage lender and other options that are available to people. And what you're saying is it's better to deal with the situation and seek your services as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's correct. So anytime you're dealing with a servicer, or a mortgage or a promissory note, it's never a short process. There's usually documents that have to be collected and income that has to be verified, just like if you're applying for a mortgage for the first time. So it takes a lot of time to get those things together and to get things worked out with the servicer. So the sooner the better.
Right. And there are also some other housing-related activities that CAPS is engaged in.
Mm-hmm. We also do pre-purchase counseling and education for people who are looking to buy a home, and those services allow people who are looking to access like first-time home buyer credits or other lending options that help people get into a home with a low down payment. Helps them access that, helps them become credit worthy, helps them become mortgage ready. So we're doing that. We also have some rehab services for people who need some assistance getting their home fixed up. Reverse mortgage counseling for seniors who want to tap the equity in their home to make repairs or to pay their taxes or whatever they might need. And then also we have a supportive housing services that offers intensive case management services for people who are homeless.
Okay, so and that includes not just the housing piece, but the supportive services piece
Yep.
to ensure the success of these individuals.
Yeah, so we're working with people on budget, having them go through a tenant training so that they know what their rights and responsibilities are as a tenant. We can do a short-term subsidy with folks to help them pay their last month's rent, and maybe even a short-term subsidy while they increase their income, get a job. That kind of thing. Again, we work with them on budgeting and helping them access the services that they need to be successful.
And then you have an idea of what the housing market is like and housing choices that may be affordable to these individuals.
Absolutely, yep. And we work with a number of landlords. We don't own any property. We work with a number of landlords throughout Hennepin County to get people into a place that works for them.
And your offices are located?
We are located in St. Louis Park is where our main office is located. We do also have satellite offices in the city of Minneapolis at the Sabathani Community Center, and then also at the Minneapolis Urban League. Sabathani's on the south side, Minneapolis Urban League's on the north side. And then we also have staff located at a number of the Hennepin County service centers at the Northwest Hub in Brooklyn Park, and then also at a number of the food shelves throughout Hennepin County. We don't have staff there all the time, but people call to make an appointment. They can look for a spot that's convenient for them.
So you spread your reach out to the various corners of the county so that you're accessible.
We want to make sure we're accessible. It's transportation is always been a struggle for our clients, especially out in the suburbs. So we want to make sure that we're locating our services as close as possible to them.
So they're on bus lines and they're accessible to your clientele.
Correct. Yep.
Very good. And you got something new that has just occurred, which is a grant to serve veterans. So I wonder if you could inform our viewers about that. Absolutely.
It's a 3-year grant that that Hennepin County got, and so they're working with the MACV, the Minnesota Assistance Council of Veterans, who are sending out grants to agencies like ours that do the case management services. And it's specific to veteran families, so families that have a vet. If they are homeless, we can again help them with a subsidy. We can help them locate housing. We can help them improve their employment and increase their income through our case management services. And along the way, provide them with support, get them into a spot that works for them, provide them with a subsidy, and hopefully get them on a path to stability.
And this is a very important venture because we're dealing in our world of veteran service, we deal with veterans and their families, but you're dealing with families and you're trying to both prevent homelessness mm-hmm. and to, in the cases where people are homeless, to assist people obtain housing.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's the second part is the prevention piece. So people who kind of like we were talking about with foreclosure prevention too, people who might be having trouble making their mortgage payment, people who are in rental housing currently, but are facing trouble making those rent payments. We do also have some prevention dollars as well. So we've got both those two pieces of the program, both prevention and then also getting people into stable housing.
And prevention is a very special area because if people it's a lot cheaper to prevent homelessness than to intervene once there's been an event of homelessness.
Right, absolutely. To move people and to move them out and to move them back in, and then to pay those first and last month's rent and damage deposits, very expensive. So keeping people in stable housing is much cheaper than getting them into stable housing.
And in our last half minute or so, what would you like to leave our viewers with knowledge about CAPSH and who should be contacting you?
Right, I'd say anybody who's struggling to meet their basic needs or think that they might be struggling in the short term, please get in contact with us. We are familiar with all the services that are available in Hennepin County, and if it's not a service that we offer, we know who might be able to help them, and we can get them a referral. And then just lastly, get to us sooner rather than later. The sooner you get to us, the better chance, the more options you have for solving your problems.
And we in Hennepin County Veteran Service have met with your staff here within the last week, and we're looking forward to working with you and your staff to make sure that veterans have stable housing. So thank you, Scott.
Thanks
I
for having
appreciate
me.
your being here. And for America Salutes, I'm Milton Schoen, and we will be back with our next guest very soon.